I'm really excited today because I have the lovely Catherine from Lippe Nutrition, who's very kindly agreed to do a vlog with me, and we're going to talk about all things snacks. I obviously would love to bake muffins and granola bars and all those kind of things, which I do, but not every day because things get busy. So I'd love to talk about the kind of packet snacks that you would then reach for. So Catherine, if you don't know, is a child nutritionist. What do we need to know? What are the key points we need to know about snacking and kids snacks in particular?
Okay, right. Well, I think the first thing to say is that children do need snacks. So because they are growing at such a fast rate, per kilogram of body weight, their nutritional requirements are much higher than ours are as adults. Okay. They need that kind of opportunity to top up on energy, but also to top up on nutrients. And when you one of the key things with a lot of these snacks, not all of them, but with a lot of them, is the sugar. And obviously we hear so much about sugar. We know that children are having too much sugar in this country already. So sugar is the key thing, I would say, with a lot of these snacks. It's very normal for children to enjoy sweet foods, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we also want to make sure that it has got some nutritional value in there as well, and that we're not overdoing it on that sugar. Particularly at snack time, when things like tooth decay are going to be more of an issue, because if you're having sugary foods as part of a main meal, perhaps for pudding.
So actually having a dessert, a sweet dessert, is a better way to do it rather than as a snack. You've
just got more saliva being produced at a meal time, so you've got more saliva to help neutralise the natural acids that the bacteria are producing when they feed off the sugars.
So they're not going to stick in your teeth.
Exactly. So that is one of the key things. And so what we've got here is a whole range of different, quite popular snacks that I know a lot of your followers.
Yeah, so I did a little Q&A thing to ask kind of what people's most popular snacks were. So there's a kind of a variety. The Serene bars are definitely
popular one.
High on the list. Barbitas, brioches, popcorn, like Oaty biscuits. So yeah, we've got kind of an array, and also some other things that I would give my kids.
Okay, fine. So the best thing to do though is to have a look at the nutritional information on a product. So when you're comparing food labels, I would always say look at the per 100 gram column. So you typically get 2 columns on food products. You'll have per 100 grams, and then you might have per serving, or if it's like a biscuit, or biscuit, or if it's a bar, you might say per bar. It's really difficult to compare like for like.
So on the front of this one, for example, you'll have which is kind of per bar, but actually it's better to flip it over and have a look at the per 100.
Always have a look at the per 100. So with something like sugar, you're looking for carbohydrates. Under your per 100 gram column, you're looking at carbohydrates, of which is sugars, and where it says of which is sugars, that's the number of grams of sugar that are included in that product.
So what kind of number are you, like, what's considered high? So in the kind of traffic light situation that we have, what would a red be, or an amber? Like, what are you looking at?
So red would be 22.5 grams of sugar or more.
22 or more, okay.
Yeah. So 22.5. If it's 22.5 grams of sugar or more, it's a high sugar food, and it would have a red traffic light label on there if they use traffic lights.
Okay.
And not all products do, so that's why
it's good to know that number though, isn't it? Yeah. So 20, anything kind of over 22.
If it's 5 grams or less of sugar per 100 gram, that's a low sugar product. And
then anything in between 5 and 22 would be an ambery in the middle of the range. Exactly. That's quite a big gap from 5 to 22.
Yeah, it is quite a big range. Something like the bagels, the cinnamon and raisin bagels, they've got some sweetness to them.
Actually, I thought this is 8.6 grams of sugar, and actually I thought that would be a lot higher.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's also got raisins in, but my kids love bagels.
And they do taste quite sweet, don't they? And I think the thing with something like that, I mean, my kids would probably have half of one of those bagels for their after-school snack, and they would find that quite filling.
Yeah, that's a... Exactly. You want to fill them up, don't you? Because otherwise, like, what's my snack? Can I have another snack? I'm still hungry.
That's it, and then they'll just want to keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
So it is about kind of, what are they going to fancy, and actually what's going to fill them up, because essentially that's what you're trying to do. They want a snack because they are hungry.
Yeah, and they do. My kids come out hungry from school.
And they need some energy, they need some nutrients. So it's sort of weighing up all of these things. I know that my kids would find this more filling than one of those. Yeah. But yeah, I mean...
So you're looking at the sugar levels really on the kind of per 100.
Yeah.
You're looking at salt content, so try and balance that out kind of over the course of the week.
Yeah. So for your salt content, what you're looking for, and if we look at something like the mini cheddars, which are a low sugar snack, but for your salt content, again, same thing, you're looking at the per 100 gram column. Sometimes it will say salt, sometimes it will say sodium, and so you can look at either. If it's salt, a high salt food would be 1.5 grams or more per 100 grams, and these mini cheddars have got 2.5.
So that's the red.
So that's going to get a red label for the salt. So we know that they are high salt food. But if you're balancing,
but they're way on, they're way down on the sugar.
Exactly. And you know, the thing is that don't beat yourself up, like I said, about going for green labels consistently, because it probably means it's going to have very little nutritional value overall. And if you are very good at making sure you don't include lots of highly processed foods, and you don't add salt to your cooking at home, and if you're kind of aware of checking the labels, you know, actually it's okay to have some high salt things. It's really hard to avoid it with things like your breadsticks. Even bread will have some salt in it.
Well, even, I was quite shocked with the breadsticks how much, you know, like even sugar, but kind of salt and stuff. And you think, you know, breadstick is bread,
pretty
you know, like quite healthy and quite plain, but actually there are, you know, things in there that have been added.
So a 1.5 grams or more per 100 grams is high for your salt, and for a low salt snack you're looking at 0.3 grams or less per 100 grams.
These ones here are kind of middle, I guess, but actually probably quite filling. The Serene bars are definitely a lot of what people kind of said that they eat. My kids love these. And popcorn, and this is actually sweet and salt, but in terms of sugar content, there's a lot worse down that end.
There are,
and this will probably go saying, like, you know, whole grain, it's actually, there's nutrients in this, in a packet of popcorn.
You know, if your kids like to have a packet of something, then these are not a bad option. And then with something like your Belvita biscuits, that's 28 grams of sugar per 100 grams, so that's even higher. You've got your Rice Krispie bars, which are 29 grams of sugar per 100 grams. A lot of these ones are fortified as well, so it's source of calcium, source of vitamin D.
So these ones, looking at them, you know, the kind of past Rice Krispie ones, I would have looked at that and thought, oh my gosh, that is a high sugar, really bad, not very nutritional snack. I wouldn't normally buy these. I bought them for the case of this, but actually, maybe I would, because they are fortified and they're cereal. It's, you know, Rice Krispies.
Exactly.
So yes, there's a lot of sugar. You shouldn't be having those probably every day for a snack, but if they're going to get some nutrients out of that if they have it every now and then.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So it feels so guilty.
Yeah, exactly. Don't feel guilty. You know, don't ban things like this. Everything has got some nutritional value to it. It's just about balancing it out. So, like exactly like I say, not doing it every day.
Yeah.
But if that's what they fancy and that's what they're interested in, then you know it's okay. And we've got a few kind of more as we go up the line here. So something like your tracker bars, 30.4 grams of sugar per 100 grams in that one. Chocolate Hobnobs, 33 grams of sugar per 100 grams in that one. And it's about thinking, you know, okay, there might not be very much sugar in just one biscuit, so it's absolutely fine for them to have, but is one biscuit going to be enough to satisfy them after school? Combine that with something, maybe vegetable sticks and hummus, or your homemade muffins when they get home, so you can balance
that kind of take the edge off until you get back.
That's it.
Yeah, because that's the problem with a lot with the homemade snacks, as lovely as they are. My kids want something as soon as I pick them out from the gate. They're like, what's my snack, mummy?
Yeah.
So, and not all of them are as portable, but actually, you know, a chocolate biscuit or you know, a bear or something, we might take the edge off until at least driven home, and then you can have something a bit more substantial.
And I also think this is, if you're really focused on doing your more kind of homemade snacks, something like this homemade trail mix is ideal, and what you can do is kind of package that up in bags or pots, because children...
It's all about the packaging, isn't it?
Children seem to find
honestly, anything in a packet. I think I made like banana bread the other day or something, but put it in and they're like, oh yeah, mummy.
That's it, it comes in a packet.
Like, God.
So you can do clever things like that.
Dream, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. and package it up nicely so you've got a little portable snack to take to school with you if that's what you're used to doing. And know there that you've got a variety of things in there. You've got a variety of different food groups. You've got mostly low sugar, low salt things, but actually, you know, if you chuck in some dried fruit in there to sweeten it up.
I think there's some dried something in there.
Yeah, some raisins or something.
Mango and raisins,
Then
a mix.
Exactly. So also looking at the more kind of high sugar ones, we've got another variety of freezy bars, and those ones have got 36.1 grams of sugar per 100 grams. So we've got a high sugar one.
Is the sugar mainly though coming from The fruit?
Well, again, we can look at the ingredients list to work that out. So we can see that the first set of ingredients here is oat flakes, and then we've got dried fruit. So we've got sultanas, dried apple slices, and we've got apple and cinnamon puree pieces. So there will be some
of that sugar content will be
exactly coming from those dried fruits. The third ingredient here is fructose and glucose syrup, and then we have got sugar in there as well. So it has got
it does actually have added
sugar in
you
there
would
as
need
well.
it though with all your sultanas and your apple.
Exactly.
No wonder my kids like these so much.
That's it. So, you know, if you were looking for one that didn't have the kind of added table sugar, if you like, to have your sugar coming from your dried fruits and something like this is not a bad thing, because you know that you're getting nutrients from it as well. It's where you see more of the kind of the syrups and the actual sugar written there.
Golden syrup, sugar,
that's the ones that we can more easily cut out, and they don't have nutritional value. So like with something with your yo-yo bears, this has got 42 grams of sugar per 100 grams. It's
a lot, but not your table. It's not your table sugar.
It's not your kind of white sucrose table sugar that you would add to your cakes and your biscuits. It's all natural sugar that comes from the fruit. So it's the same as if you were looking at a bag of raisins or dried apricots or dried dates. They are very, very sweet foods, but it's just the natural fructose from those.
They're still having their fruit.
Exactly. So there will be some nutritional value in here, and if you look,
but probably not massively filling.
Not massively filling. And the big thing about these ones is because it's so sticky, the sugars in there are much more likely to cause tooth decay than if you were eating a whole piece of fruit.
So it's more, the teeth issue.
Exactly. So the sugar is much more concentrated, because essentially what you've done is taken out all of the water and left everything else. So you have got some nutrients in there,
so
but you've also got...
literally just get stuck, well, like raisins, isn't it?
Exactly. You've got a lot of concentrated fructose in things like this. So it will taste very sweet, and I think that's why it's so popular with children. It's not particularly filling, but it has got some nutritional value.
Okay.
So, again, don't ban them, don't be put off them completely for ever buying them.
Just vary it.
Exactly.
In summary, what we've learned really is looking at the sugar content. So anything over 22 is high sugar.
22.5.
22.5. Anything under 5 is low. And looking at the salt. Those are your key things for when you're looking at snacks for your children. And then if you're going to go for a slightly higher sugar content bar one day on a Monday, and then Tuesday you might be really organised and have had, a homemade egg muffin that you're going to take up, or some, granola bar or something. And then otherwise maybe switch it for something that's less in the sugar. There might be more salt in it, but you're kind of then balancing it out for a snack.
So you've got lots of variety. And don't forget to have a look at that ingredients list, so you can work out where that sugar is coming from, and you can work out the nutritional value. So that's the kind of key things that you're looking out for.
So there's no kind of, this is the best snack to have for your child, because they all vary in their nutrition. And
I think, one of the key messages to try and get across is that it depends. It depends what your child fancies that day. It depends what they haven't had for a while. The main message I would like parents to kind of get across is, don't feel bad. I think often we're made to feel really bad or guilty if we're buying our kids things.
If you're turning up with a Rice Krispies bar, I would feel like, oh, people are looking, judging me.
Especially because of what you and I do.
Well, like, you must get it more. It's like, oh,
But equally, we know that if I was to turn up with an apple every day, it's just not going to cut it. And what that's going to do is it's going to make them try and crave more of these foods, and these foods are going to seem much more appealing the more I restrict them and ban them. Whereas if we have a much more
nice
balanced approach, lots of variety. So variety is the key message. It's okay to do these. If you're doing them once every 4 weeks, absolutely not a problem. If you're doing them every day, we maybe want to look at getting more variety in there.
And then also you have to balance that out, I guess, with what they're having for the rest of the day as well, because you can give them an apple, but they can just have that maybe with their meal or after their meal, because after school they want something a bit more like this.
Yeah, exactly.
You can still get there. But then if you are doing things at home and you can kind of lay them out, I don't know if you're picking up from nursery or you've managed to get them home without having a snack. There are kind of, simple things you can do, and it's all about kind of presentation too, because I was making these up this morning and the kids are like, oh, can we have one?
Oh, really?
I was like, no, not yet. I've got to wait till I do my vlog. But so hopefully they'll have these later on.
That's it.
Egg muffins are a really good one actually, and they're really quick and they freeze. Or just a boiled egg, and then I've done some little pinwheels. So these are smoked salmon and some spinach, and then banana and peanut butter. So if you're at home, they're really quick to make. I did all of this, in no time at all this morning.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
So they are, and then trail mixes, and you can make a big batch and put them like you've done in here.
Yeah.
And they'll keep for a while, won't they?
That's it, and then you
Something
just
like
decant
that.
that into a little Tupperware pot to take to school with me, which is what I'll be doing later on.
Yes, with rush hour.
But yeah, I think it is. It's about making it appealing, that variety, and just putting it out there and letting them just
switching it around.
Yeah, that's it. Choose the bit that they want.
Well, yeah. So that's all about the packet stuff, and obviously on my website I've got a list of kind of ideas. So you know, I've got the pinwheels, I've got the egg muffins, fruit kebabs. There's a kind of printable thing on my website for ideas, because I think it's easy to get kind of stuck in a rut as well a little bit.
Absolutely.
Grab the same thing.
Yeah, that's it. We all want ideas and inspiration, don't we? So you've got a great list, and printable things as well.
Yeah, I've got
parents
printable.
can go to for that. Fabulous.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
It's so
having
interesting,
me.
isn't it? I now want to eat all the snacks.
Yeah. Exactly.